OnePlus has just launched its fresh new 2018 flagship phone, the OnePlus 6. It's got some really nice premium specs and features stacked in there, but of course the asking price keeps rising and rising until it's reaching almost the same premium levels as some of its rivals. On the other hand, the Samsung Galaxy S8, its price keeps dropping now because the Galaxy S9 has officially launched. You can actually pick it up for cheaper than the OnePlus if you know where to look. So let's do a side by side and see which one might be best for you. Now, of course, even just a cursory glance will show you that Samsung Galaxy S8 is the more compact handset, despite the fact that it felt quite big when it first launched. The reason for that is, of course, the gorgeous infinity display design. That screen just stretches around the edges of the phone, just curves around nicely, and it's a nice, comfortable grip for sure. It doesn't, of course, have that notch effect up top like the OnePlus 6 does, which just allows the screen to reach all the way to the very top of the handset, but that doesn't seem to make much difference. Because OnePlus 6 is still quite comfortable to clutch as well, despite the fact that it is the bigger handset. And of course you do get a bit of one-handed help. You can pull down that notifications bar from anywhere on the screen. That said, the Galaxy S8 also sports a bit of one-handed help to swipe up towards the middle of the screen, and as you can see, it just minimises the desktops and also your apps as well, so it's really, really nifty. Now flip them over and you'll see that they both rock, of course, a nice glossy design. It's all the rage in 2018, but Samsung was there long before most of the competition. You can pick up the Samsung Galaxy S8 in a number of different hues, of course. This is the black model, hides most of those greasy prints quite nicely, as does the mirror black version of the OnePlus. Even though this is all glass, you can pick it up in a kind of a matte finish as well, if you so desire, or even a gorgeous silk white version, which we definitely recommend. Unfortunately, while the Galaxy S8 is fully water resistant, you don't get that water resistant finish on the OnePlus 6. OnePlus does reckon that it has taken some safeguards to try and prevent water from infiltrating those ports, but if you give it a bit of a dunking, it will probably die. They both rock a rear-mounted fingerprint sensor as well, as you can see there. Unfortunately, the Galaxy S8 is kind of pushed off to the side by the camera lens. We'd rather have had it just beneath as it is here on the OnePlus. And the OnePlus, it just falls naturally under your finger when you pick up the handset, and then a quick tap and you're straight into your desktops. As you can see there, it is pleasingly nippy, really, really fast. In the case of the Galaxy S8, you have to kind of, it's a bit awkward. It feels like you're tapping the camera lens, and it's kind of difficult to find unless you're actually looking at the back of the handset. But again, once you find it, you're straight into your desktop, so it's pretty nippy. And both of these phones offer an alternative as well. In the case of the Galaxy S8, you get iris recognition, so you've got to tap the power button, then you've got to unfortunately swipe up, and then it will do the biometrics and try and recognize your eyeballs. There we go. Gets there in the end. In the case of the OnePlus, it's just full-on facial recognition, and it works really, really well, even in low-light situations. Just quick tap the power button, as you can see, straight through without even seeing the lock screen. It's incredibly fast, so we definitely recommend that. If you flip to the bottom of these phones, you will see, of course, that both of them rock a 3.5mm headphone jack, as well as a bit of Type-C USB connectivity as well. You get your usual phone volume rocker and power button as well. And then, of course, the OnePlus 6 also boasts the alert slider. Just a quick flick up or a quick flick down will change the actual notification alert system, so you can have do not disturb with just a quick flick. Great if you're going to go into a meeting. So for that screen tech, it's a 5.8-inch Super AMOLED here on the Galaxy S8, which seemed ridiculously huge at the time, just over a year ago. And it's actually a 6.28-inch AMOLED here on the OnePlus 6, which, yeah, absolutely dwarfs the Galaxy S8 these days. Because they're both AMOLED panels, of course, you get nice punchy colours that really shine through. The Galaxy S8 is super vibrant, and the OnePlus 6 is really not far behind either. That said, the Galaxy S8 does sport the crisper resolution. It's a Quad HD Plus 2960 by 1440, compared with the 2280 by 1080 Full HD Plus here on the OnePlus 6. That said, stick them side by side, and to be honest, you'll struggle to notice a difference. You play a nice bit of Netflix, and the images are super, super crisp, exactly the same for when you're flicking through your photo galleries and everything as well. You get a beautifully sharp pixel resolution, lots of detailing, no matter what you're doing. Oh, and don't worry if you're not a fan of that OnePlus 6 notch as well, because the latest update means that you can dive into the display settings, go to notch display, and you can hide it from view. So when you go into your apps and everything, that'll just be masked with this lovely black virtual line. Now in both cases, of course, you get a nice bit of Android slapped on there. In the case of the Galaxy S8, we're still on Android Nougat version 7.0. Hopefully that'll get an update soon for us. Whereas you've of course got the latest version 8.1 here on the OnePlus 6. In both cases, you've got a bit of an overlay as well. You got Samsung experience, of course, on the Galaxy, and you get OnePlus's own Oxygen OS here on the OnePlus 6. And in addition to the bonus features such as the iris recognition here, the facial recognition here, and the one-handed help and all that kind of stuff, you get some bonus mods. So gamers are well catered for instance, you get the gaming effect here on the Galaxy S8. That allows you to, for instance, hit a do not disturb whenever you're getting your game on. You can even stream your gaming sessions live online. You've also got a kind of gaming mode here on the OnePlus, which just again allows you to hit a do not disturb, and it can also give you a network boost, so it just gives the game priority whenever you're playing online. Samsung has added quite a few little bonus apps in here as well, so you've got plenty of stuff to play around with, such as the likes of the Samsung Note, Samsung Members, things like that. Most of it can just generally be ignored, to be honest. In the case of the OnePlus, it's all just the Google apps. You don't get any bonus apps on there. All the functionality is hidden away as part of the overlay. In both cases, despite all the overlay and everything, it's a nice nippy performance, as you might expect from premium handsets. The Snapdragon 845 packed inside the OnePlus 6 is absolutely stunning, backed by either 6 or 8 gigs of RAM, whereas it's Samsung's own Exynos 8895 backed by 4 gigs of RAM here in the Galaxy S8. And even though the Galaxy S8 is a year older, it's still nice and nippy. Your apps load up the instant you tap them, no hanging around or anything like that. Games play with a perfect frame rate, so you don't have to worry about any of that. In the case of the OnePlus 6, though, it's so silky smooth, it's ridiculous. Just the instant you tap, you are instantly there, no hanging around at all. Things just pop up straight away. And again, games play with a brilliant frame rate. And of course, if we run a bit of Antutu, the OnePlus is naturally the winner by quite a margin. But that said, Galaxy S8, of course, is still a great performer, so don't let that put you off. As for storage, you get a choice of either 64 or 128GB of storage here in the OnePlus 6, and there's even a 256GB model if you manage to hunt that one down as well. In the case of the Galaxy S8, it's 64GB as standard, but you can also expand that via micro SD up to a further 256GB when required. In the case of the OnePlus 6, there is no expansion allowed. There's no micro SD support, so you're stuck with whatever you got. In terms of the battery tech, you get a slightly bigger battery in the OnePlus 6. It's a 3000 mAh cell compared with the 3000 mAh in the Galaxy S8. Of course, you also get that more energy efficient Snapdragon 845 chipset as well, which does a really solid job. So you tend to get between a day and a half of life out of the OnePlus 6, whereas we tend to just about get a day out of the Galaxy S8. That said, at least you do get the likes of the power saving modes when you absolutely need to, if you need to get a good bit of use out of the final dregs. And of course, you can see exactly which apps are sucking your power. In both cases, you get a form of fast charging as well. The excellent dash charge is still our favourite, of course, on the OnePlus 6. But you do also get wireless charging here on the Galaxy S8, if that floats your boat. As for that camera tech, well, of course, it is just a single lens setup here on the Galaxy S8. It's a 12 megapixel f1.7 aperture lens. Here on the OnePlus, of course, there's a dual lens setup instead with a vertical alignment. You get a 16 megapixel primary snapper backed by a 20 megapixel secondary lens, and it's an f1.7 as well. So again, pretty solid in low light, helped along by that large Sony sensor. If we actually boot up the camera app as well, you can see it's a very different experience inside. So you're straight into your photo option, of course. You do have quick access to video as well in both cases. But you also get the portrait mode here on the OnePlus 6, which uses that dual aperture setup just to focus on your subject and add a nice blurred bokeh effect in the background. That said, while the Galaxy S8 doesn't have a portrait mode per se, it does have the selective focus mode, which uses a bit of software smarts to again produce a background blurry effect. And you can actually change the focus distance post-processing as well, which is pretty nifty. Both of these phones also offer a Pro mode, so that's full manual controls when you need them, so you can mess around with the likes of the white balance, shutter speed, all that kind of stuff to get a very precise kind of effect. And in both cases, you can shoot a nice bit of slow motion video and a bit of time-lapse / hyperlapse on the Samsung if you want a funky video effect. And speaking of video, let's jump into the video mode stuff as well and see exactly what you can expect there. As you can see here on the Galaxy S8, you can shoot quite a few different resolutions. You've got Full HD at either 30 or 60 frames per second. You can also shoot at Quad HD, and you've got 4K resolution footage as well. But right here on the OnePlus, you again can shoot 1080p at either 30 or 60 frames per second, but you can also shoot 4K at either 30 or 60 frames per second for a really realistic finish. Of course, you've got your usual array of filters and all the other stuff that you can mess about with as well, and you've got a variety of other photo modes that you can jump onto as well here on the Galaxy, such as you can use the AR emoji style randomness to give yourself a silly party hat, make you look like you're a spliff smoking bear, all kinds of weird stuff. So that's quite good if you have kids, I guess. And also around the front you get a nifty 16 megapixel front facing camera here on the OnePlus, whereas it's an 8 megapixel on the Galaxy S8. And that in a nutshell is the Galaxy S8 versus the OnePlus 6. As you can see, the OnePlus 6 does boast much better specs in terms of the Snapdragon 845 processor, really slick, and some really nice features such as that facial recognition as well. But that said, the Galaxy S8 is pleasingly compact. We still love that gorgeous design, and it does still boast excellent camera tech as well. So which one would you be tempted by? Let us know in the comments below. And for more on the OnePlus 6 and all of the latest and greatest Androids, don't forget to give us a subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Many thanks for watching everyone, cheers!